Stampers, this is Holly from Rubber Redneck. I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator and welcome to another Rubber Redneck video tutorial. Today's video I'll be demonstrating my May customer promotion. Place any order through my Stampin' Up online store May 1st to the 31st, 2016 and you'll receive this apple of my eye thank you card in the mail from me. You'll also receive the mini PDF for this project that I will email to you. Be sure when you're checking out at my online store that you don't select no contact, because then your order will not qualify for any of my promotions and your order may also qualify for the free Stampin' Up catalog. For more details, please visit my blog, rubberredneck.typepad.com. Today's project is using the stamp set called Apple of My Eye from the Occasion catalog. Now the Occasions catalog is going to be retiring here in a couple of weeks, so there's a limited time left to get this fun stamp set. School is almost ending and I thought it'd be great to be able to make some cards for your children's teachers to say thank you for everything they do for your child. Or if you just want to create thank you cards, you can use that for this way too as well. So here's the front view, and then when you open it up, here is the inside view. And this is also a photopolymer stamp set, and what I mean by that is it's a clear stamp set, so you can see where you're stamping. I love photopolymer stamps personally myself. Now to start out with, you want to cut one piece of whisper weight cardstock, and you're going to cut that at 4 1/4 by 11 inches. Once you have that cut, you want to place that onto your Simply Scored scoring tool and score at 5 1/2. Then fold that on your scored line and use your bone folder to burnish that edge. This will help crease it and fold it into a card. We're going to set that aside for a second. You want to cut one piece of real red cardstock and you're going to cut that at 4 inches by 5 1/4. Zip that through the Big Shot with the Lucky Stars embossing folder to give it that fun star embossed look to the paper. I love that. Then you want to cut one piece of It's My Party Designer Series paper, and you want that paper in the black pattern with the little arrows. And you're going to cut that at 1 inch by 1 1/4. Once you have that cut, then you're going to need the banner triple punch. And this is our banner triple punch. Turn this over and unlock it. And then you're going to slide your designer paper in here and then flip this back over so you can see what you're doing. And then you're just going to slide this so that the corners of the designer paper line up with the edge of the punch. Once you've lined those up, just punch that out. And now you've created a fun little banner here. We're going to glue this across the real red cardstock. Now you'll notice on my card that it overhangs off the sides here. So when we're gluing this, you do not want to put glue where it's going to sit on the Whisper White card base yet. So you just want to glue where it's going to attach the real red cardstock. So I just go in a little bit on both sides first. And then you're going to place this going across the bottom of the real red cardstock. And then you want to make sure it is overhanging off both edges here on the left and right side like that. And once you have that part done, we're going to glue this to our Whisper Weight card base. And now you will want to add a little bit of glue to the banners here on the sides, and you may have to trim one side off too, so keep that in mind when you're putting the glue on there. Once you have the glue on the back, then you're going to place this right in the center of your Whisper Weight card base. So then it will look like this so far. Then you want to cut one piece of the Whisper Weight cardstock, and you're going to cut that at 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Then you're going to want to take the stamp from Apple of My Eye, and you're going to want the thank you in your clear block, and then you're going to want the Tuxedo Black Memento Ink pad. And we want to stamp the greeting first in the top right corner. This will help you for placing everything else on your project. So then just place that, stamp that here in the top right corner. Then you want to take the little leaf stamp from the Apple of My Eye stamp set, and you're going to want your old olive ink pad. And now for this step, you're also going to want a piece of scratch paper to put down to protect your surface. So I'm going to grab my grid paper that we sell. This is awesome paper for lining up stuff and to protect your surface. I just love this paper. It's very handy for me, I think. Now you're going to take your old olive ink pad, and then you want to ink this stamp in the ink pad. And what we're going to do is we're going to ink it and then stamp off so that you create this subtle look behind the apple. I didn't want it to draw away. So you're going to ink that in the ink pad, stamp that off, and then stamp here onto the bottom of your Whisper White cardstock. And you're just going to stamp a roll of these going across the bottom to start out. And you want to make sure you leave a little bit of space in between each image. And then once you've stamped that first row, then you're going to start filling this in, going up to that Whisper White, and just stamp in between your leaves. It's very easy to do and very fun. Now we're going to start the next row. Always remember to stamp off so that you have that subtle look. And then now as you're starting to stamp, you're going to start stamping less leaves, excuse me, going across here. So you're not going to want to finish out that row as you're going up. And then you'll have what it'll look like this when you're done stamping your leaves. And then once you have this part done, then what you want to do is you're going to cut 4 inches of the 1.25" burlap ribbon. Now this burlap ribbon is retiring this year. I'm so sad to see that this is going. Once you have that 4-inch piece cut, then you want to take your paper snips, and you want your ones for cutting your ribbon, and we're just going to cut this right down the center, cutting it in half. And then once you have it cut in half, just save the other piece for another project later on. Then you're going to gently pull on the threads to fray this out. Just pull this out, fray that. So then it'll look like this once you have those threads pulled out. And if you want it to be a little more frayed, just pull a couple of more of those little threads out. And then you can also save those threads for another project as well. And then to help with this, you're going to need your glue dots, because we want to hold this in place so we can staple it. Place a glue dot onto that Whisper White cardstock here on the left side, and then press down your burlap ribbon on there. And then you're going to take another glue dot and put that on top of your burlap ribbon. Fold this over, pinching it, and press down. So that helps secure it into place. Then once you have that secured into place, you're going to want to take another stamping glue dot right away. Flip this over and place that onto that Whisper White cardstock and attach your burlap ribbon to it, getting that secured. Then you're going to take your stapler, the handheld stapler, and we're going to slide this in, and we want to staple through the ribbon and the paper. Now when you do this, this burlap ribbon is a little bit thicker and heavier, and it also has the sewed edges on there, so make sure you slide down below that sewed edge to make it easier to staple. And then you're just going to staple through that, adding a fun little funky look to your card here. And then once you have that part done, you see how it goes all the way across? We want to make this a little bit shorter, so all I did was just trim a little bit off the end. And again, you can save that piece for another project if you want as well. And then take another glue dot and secure that end to your Whisper White cardstock. And then it'll look like that when you're done. Now once you have that part done, you're ready to attach this to your layers, to your card and the layers here. So you're going to turn this over because we want to put some stamping dimensionals onto the back. Put one in each corner on the back. And then you also want to put one in the center to help with over time so it doesn't concave on you. And then you're just going to place this onto that Whisper White cardstock, or onto the real red cardstock, overlapping that designer paper, and then I'll put it in the center. You want to cut 13.5 inches of the linen thread, and then you're going to need your glue dots again. And you're going to put a glue dot on one end, and then we're going to lap this around and create little loops. So just create a loop and secure that other end right to that glue dot. Create another loop and secure to the glue dot again. And then once you have that secured on there twice, take another glue dot and place that wherever you would like it when you make your third loop here. I'm putting mine in the center so that the apple will hide it when we put it on here. So now you've created 3 little loops with that linen thread. We're going to set this aside for a minute. You're going to want a piece of whisper weight cardstock, and you want that big enough so that we will be able to punch the apple out with the 1 3/4 inch circle punch. And then you're going to need your real red ink pad, and you're going to need the stamp that looks like an apple. Now with the photopolymer stamps, it does stain them. It doesn't wreck them. Over time, if they start really looking dingy or lose the cleanness to them, simply wash them with a little bit of hot water and Dawn dish soap. Works for me every time. And then you're also going to want your Stampin' Pierce mat. I've found with the photopolymer images to get a really good clear image, if you put this underneath your cardstock when you go to stamp, that it'll help. So now we're going to ink the stamp up, and before you ink it up, make sure, like for me, I have cats, so make sure it's all clean so we don't get any little cat hairs in there, because it will show up. And then you'll see how it won't sometimes ink. My solution for that is to turn this so the stamp is face up, take your ink pad, put it upside down, and tap onto your stamp. This always works for me to get the bigger stamps covered. And then once you have that inked, then you're going to stamp right onto your whisper weight cardstock. And then you want to just press down firmly, and you want to hold that for about 3 seconds. And as you're holding that, you can see the ink transferring from the stamp onto the cardstock. That's why I love the photopolymer stamps. So it'll look like that when you're done. Then take that 1 3/4 inch circle punch, and you're going to punch this out. So just line that up in the center and punch it out. Once you have the little apple stamp, then you're going to need that old olive ink pad again and your little leaf. We're going to ink that in that old olive, and you want to stamp 2 leaves here onto the cardstock. And then you're going to want to take the early espresso ink pad for our little stem. So take that stem image and just stamp onto your scratch paper here. And then once you have those little pieces stamped, we're going to cut them out. Once you have all your little pieces cut out, we're going to need our glue dot again. And we're going to put the little glue dot on the back of that stem. And then you want to place this right onto the apple in the little dip there. And then you want to take those 2 little leaves and your stamping dimensionals, and you're going to cut 2 little pieces off the side here to attach your little leaves. And the first one, we're actually going to attach that with a glue dot. Sorry about that. And we're going to put that at an angle up here at the top, going towards the top. And then you want to take that little piece of stamping dimensional you cut and put that on the second leaf. And then we're going to attach that overlapping your other leaf. So then you've just created a cute little apple. And then on the back, we want to put 2 stamping dimensionals. And we're going to put that at the top and bottom. And then when you attach this, you want to attach this to the front of your card, overlapping everything. And you'll be hiding those glue dots that you used for the linen thread. How cute is that little card? Just love that. Then you're going to take your metallic sequins, and we want the blacks and silver ones out of here. And then these come in stars. They have the hearts in there, and then they have what I call the little cups. So we're going to want 2 little black ones, and then you want 2 silver ones. And then you're going to want your glue dots again. And I always find that this works the best way with the sequins. I just put them right onto the roll, covering the glue dot. And then once you have them stuck to the glue dot, you're ready to start putting them onto your card. So I'm going to put one in the top right corner of the black ones. And then put another one over here on the left side in the black. And then we want the silver right over here on the right below the thank you. I added another silver over here onto the left side by the linen thread and everything. And then you're also going to need one more black one. And you'll put that one down here on the bottom right corner going in from the side a little bit. And then if your glue dots are showing any little bit there, I got a little trick for you. Just take your paper snips and be careful when you do this so you don't poke yourself, and just press up the glue dot underneath. And then that will hide your glue dot if you don't get that sequin on there perfectly straight. Easy, it's an easy little fix, little trick for you. Now for the inside, I kept it very simple. I just wanted to add a little bit of something in there. So you're going to cut one piece of the It's My Party Designer Series paper in that basic black arrows pattern again. And we're just going to put that on here on the bottom. And I just cut that at 1/4 inch by 3 inches. It was a little scrap I had left over. So this is a great way to use up your little scraps instead of throwing them away. So you're just going to glue this to the inside of your card on the right side, and you want to go up from the bottom just a little bit. So it'll look like that when you're done. And now you've completed the Apple of My Eye thank you card. Be sure to visit my blog, rubberredneck.typepad.com, to find out where to buy the supplies to recreate this, place an order, and for more information on different services I offer. Thank you for watching.